I'm from Scotland and Glasgow. I've come here to help build the movement for 15 now. I think it's extremely important that people realise in the US that the struggles of American workers are followed all around the world. I mean, it's really inspiring today to see people in Brooklyn standing up. There's people in Manhattan rallying today, but in 21 cities across the United States, there's 15 now rallies today. There's going to be 1,000 people in Seattle marching for 15 now. We're building a mass movement that's going to shake the world.
We're fighting for a minimum wage that is really that's the beginnings of a living wage. Mostly 98% of the gains of the so-called economic recovery have gone to the top 1%. We see billions and billions being made, and working people cannot survive with, basically the minimum wage the way it is now. People live in poverty and they can work full time, and they need welfare, they need food stamps in order to feed their own families. So we think this disgrace has to stop. We think we need a living wage. 15 is a first step in that direction.
What do we want?
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
15!
Yes!
Now!
Yes!
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
2 years ago, the first fast food strike happened in New York. And they've now happened all over the country. There was one here last December. Brooklyn has had more fast food stores organised, involved in some way with fast food workers' struggle than any other part of this city. Low-wage workers in this city are prepared to get up and fight for their rights and fight to improve things, and it's time for us to build a movement that everybody can be involved in to make that happen here.
You saw the fast food strikes before Christmas. Millions of people across the world and in Britain were inspired by the videos on YouTube, by the memes on Facebook of fast food workers holding up signs for a living wage and for $15 an hour, because there's a crisis across the world caused by the rich, caused by big business, and caused by the bankers. They were bailed out and they've increased their profits and taken more and more profits, while our wages have fallen and while people's living standards have been attacked. And workers are fighting for a living wage in the US, but we're also fighting for a living wage in the UK and in Europe and across the world.
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
15! Now!
What do we want? 15!
We should have $15. What is $15?
Not enough.
1963, they asked for $2 minimum wage at the March for Freedom and Justice in Washington, D.C. You know, Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, they had economic demands, $2. That's $15.29 today. So we're just catching up to what we wanted in 1963. If the minimum wage had kept up from 1968 to today with productivity, that's how much we produce for every hour we work, it'd be over $25. 15 is a moderate demand. 15 would get a family of four to the point where they start to qualify for food stamps, 130% of poverty. You know, if you're working full time, you should at least be able to pay the grocery bill, right? $15 will get you there.
Hold the burgers, hold the fries.
We want wages supersized.
Hold the burgers,
Hold the fries. We want wages supersized.
hold the burgers, hold the fries.
We want wages supersized.
I came out today because I think it's a really important cause to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, which in fact would still qualify people for food stamps. So it's really not an outrageous demand to ask for $15 an hour, but really what we have now is people working for poverty wages. So I really think this is something that affects everyone, and that's something that we really have to get behind and fight for.
What do we want?
15!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
15!